on the other hand, Jimmy Fallon makes the mistake of complimenting Ricky's appearance, which spirals into an unforgettable rant.
I love that character.
Oh, thank you very much.
Colbert, who tried to corner Ricky with philosophical questions about atheism. But Ricky didn't just answer, he flipped the entire premise.
Talking about hell before, about the street, about you going to hell.
This versus the world, where we take on challenges, comedy, trending topics, and some travel. City boy! City boy! All right, you guys, we back with it. Ricky Gervais, destroying rude interviewers. Yeah. I stopped halfway in because I was like 20 minutes in and to the conversation, and the video still had another 7 minutes. So I was like, yo, this is 2 videos, man, because I ain't trying to make a 40-minute, you know what I mean? Y'all know what I mean. Y'all know what I'm saying. Y'all know what's sizzling over here. So yeah, we getting after it. If you guys are here for it, like, share, comment, subscribe, and let's vibe. I want to see where this goes. That's interesting. I like Ricky Gervais because he's just straightforward with people and transparent. Also, he kind of represents the fleet of people who still believe in, I don't know if he believes in no censorship at all, but the angles he takes would imply that's what he believes. And that's kind of the route I go, if I'm just being honest with y'all, man. Like, people are like, but it's hate speech, it's this, I'm just like, yo, man. Once you start censoring one little thing, then it's a slippery slope. And I just don't think people should be censored on their opinions, thoughts. I'd rather know what people are saying and feeling. You know what I'm saying? Also, it gives you a heads up so you can watch out for certain things too, People are so silly because they want to censor people, and then it just happens in the dark. And, it's like the underground shit that happens is worse than the overground a lot of times, right? The underground networks. But anyways, let's get into it. Let's see what's popping.
That character.
Oh, thank you very much.
Colbert, who tried to corner Ricky with philosophical questions about atheism. But Ricky didn't just answer, he flipped the entire premise.
Talking about hell before, about the street, about you going to hell.
Yeah.
And I know that you're an atheist, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. People have been debating. That's the devil waiting for you in hell, by the way. Did you want to debate the existence of God? Okay. So, Ricky Gervais, why is there something instead of nothing?
Colbert began with a classic philosophical question. Why is there something instead of nothing? Instead of falling into the trap of overanalyzing, Ricky delivered a line that instantly reframed the discussion.
But surely the big question is not why, but how. Well, why is irrelevant.
Okay, fine. How is there something? Because you think of God as the prime mover. How is there anything?
Oh, I don't. This is a
Is there a prime mover? Is there a demiurge that started everything?
As the discussion continued, Colbert pushed further, attempting to back Ricky into a corner with theological arguments. But Ricky, ever the quick thinker, turned the tables with one of his most iconic lines.
You say, there's a God. I say, can you prove that? You say no. I say, I don't believe you then. So, you believe in one God, I assume?
In 3 persons, but go ahead.
Okay, so but there are about 3,000 to choose from that have been, people who believe in.
I've done some reading, yeah.
Okay, so basically, you believe in, you deny one less God than I do. You don't believe in 2,999 gods, and I don't believe in just one more.
Right.
The humor and logic in Ricky's statement were undeniable, effortlessly exposing the arbitrariness of religious beliefs and leaving Colbert with little room to counter. And we have that time with Piers Morgan.
It's kind of wild. I didn't even know Colbert would take the stance of a Catholic, a Christian. I never would imagine, because these are the same programs that are really pushing, things that go against that belief system. That maybe he was just joking and being sarcastic. I was just, I always question the people on the left because, when people say, no, I'm a Christian, I'm a devout Christian, and then you see bro, I live in Colorado, bro. You be seeing rainbow flags at churches, and I grew up in a fundamentally sound Baptist church. That's just, I'm not going to, you know what I mean? Again, I'm not here to persecute or judge people. That's just not what I do. But I do know what the Bible says. It don't say that. It says love everyone, show love, get love. But there are certain lines that the Bible draws, right? There's certain lines in the sand. This is how you get to heaven or the next place. If you don't follow these certain rules and the lines in the sand, you know, you deal with that at Judgment Day. I'm not here to judge you, you know what I'm saying? And I haven't heard of a lawyer you can take to Judgment Day yet. So until that day, there ain't no buying no stairway to heaven. You know what I mean? But again, I just think it's interesting because a lot of people on the left will say that they're Christian, but they go against certain things, man. There's certain principles in the Christian faith that just don't align with that, with some big factors in that political party. That's just what it is. So I always thought that was interesting. But all right, let's go. It looks like he's on Piers Morgan now. Oh, and with the atheist thing, I think he has the right to say he's an atheist and believe that and whatever, you know? Because at the end of the day, with religion, because y'all know I'm Christian. I'm not denying my religion because Ricky Gervais is up here on the screen. It's about faith. What is faith? It's a belief. You know, it's hard. Like, in my opinion, sometimes it does feel hard to prove there's a God, right? Like in the sense of, you know, show me him now type of thing. You know, there's people who will show through, like, you know, history scriptures. Like there's these like, I don't even know what they're called, but they like, you know, I've seen these Christian dudes on big podcasts, like going back and being like, so there's representation of Jesus here. There's a crowd like, and you're like, oh, yo, this is hyphy, right? It'd be better for them to speak on that than me. But I will say is like, I know it's about faith. You can't prove there isn't a God. You cannot prove that. No one can. But in the sense of proving there is a God, in the sense of like, he's right here, look, like I can't prove that. However, there are, you know, historical events that have been recorded and information recorded time after time that, you know, would reference a God. Some people are like, well, it still doesn't prove it. Again, I'm not the great debater here for that. But I just want to highlight that. Like, that's how I think of it. I think there's two ways to think about it. There is or there isn't. But I respect Ricky Gervais for just saying how he feels. Like, I wouldn't want to censor him for being an atheist.
Debating blind people owning guns, where Ricky's sharp sarcasm stole the show.
You love American, I love American.
Yeah.
Let's
Well,
start,
I
let's start
tweeted
from
you.
that position.
I said next they'll be saying blind people shouldn't drive cars, which is the first thing I thought of, because I think people have got to see the difference. They were talking about it as an equality issue. Aren't blind people allowed to defend
Well, their
themselves?
constitutional right
Yeah.
would be damaged if, and they gave an example of, you know, if they were fully sighted and used a gun, just because they lost their sight, why should they lose the constitutional right to continue having a gun?
Yeah, well, it's a difficult one, but the short answer is because they can't see what they're shooting. That's what I'd say.
No matter how convincing Ricky's response was, Piers still wouldn't let it go until this moment happened.
I'm a US resident, so I'm technically also covered by the Constitution. That's why I'm allowed to criticize the Second Amendment about guns, because of the First Amendment about free speech.
But tell me you're not allowed to carry a gun.
I would not be able to carry a gun here in New York, but I could carry one in, you know, Dallas, or I could carry one anywhere.
Really?
I go to Walmart in Houston and buy one. It'll be on the wall. I can't buy a Kinder egg, you know, those little eggs with little toys in, because it may choke me, so they're a health hazard. But where the Kinder egg would be sold in a British store, they instead have an AR-15 assault rifle.
Dear America, please let Piers buy a Kinder Egg, but don't let him buy a gun.
Then there was the interviewer who called The Office the British version.
That's crazy. I don't really feel like I understand where Ricky stands with guns. Pierce is kind of typical with his responses. Like, it's like very predictable what he's gonna say, and trying to be sarcastic. Like, I can buy a Kinder Egg. It warns me that I choke, and there's ARs on the wall. Who cares, man? Like, we're a gun culture, man. People don't understand that about Americans. That's the thing. Like, you don't understand it. I'm not saying Pierce doesn't because he's been here long enough, but there is a hustle culture and a gun culture that people just don't understand. And because of how deep we are into the gun culture, people think that just taking all the guns away, is going to change, like, these tragic events with mass shooters. Now, of course, the blanket of mass shootings only goes for these horrific events that happen in a public space to a certain demographic of people, right? mass shooting never covers gang violence, right? Which a mass shooting, I believe, is when anyone over, I think, 4 people get shot. And if you saw, like, most of the gun violence in America happens from gangs. Gang violence. The smallest percentage happens from mass shooters. But they highlight the mass shooting and play it over and over again to put fear in the hearts of the world. It's just like the Rona. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say these words and get clipped off YouTube. The V word that rhymes with Cyrus. The V word that rhymes with Cyrus only affected a percentage of people for the most part, right? Which wasn't, in America, it's a huge population, the obese, the elderly, etc. But they sold it as something that I don't even know what I can say on here anymore. But they sold it as something very particular to instill that fear, right? They didn't talk about how, certain health and lifestyle changes could help you. There was also preventative measures, vitamin D. I mean, there's just a whole long laundry list of things. But this is what they do. They sell the fear first and then try to control you with that fear. And that's what they do with guns. They highlight these rare situations of mass shootings in America that typically might happen at a school, at a public event, at a grocery store, which it does freak me out. Like, I always stay strapped. I have my concealed carry. However, they don't talk about gang violence, which is where the majority of this gun statistic violence comes from in America. And I don't think people realize that. And I don't think they realize, because of the gang violence, you want to have a weapon to be able to defend yourself against armed robbery, against this, that, and the other. And then the biggest issue, the one I never argue, is because people get so defensive about it, is just, originally your guns are for a tyrannical government. That's what they're honestly for. And when you say that, you get kind of ostracized, like you're crazy, like this would never happen, da, 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 da. So I don't want to use that as an argument point for myself, because that's just not, that's really, I get that. I actually totally agree with that. But people just get so ridiculous when you say that. So I just try to say the super basic, commonsensical points where it's like, bro, like, with a country that has this many guns, you really want to get caught slipping when you have a family to protect? Okay, homie, you do you. If you think the cops are going to get you your house that fast, you do you. I've had many situations, and I came from gang violence, I've shot it. Anyways, I'm not going to. Anyways, let's go. I'm ranting now.
But Ricky quickly set the record straight.
He went, yeah, sure, okay, yeah.
Jack, of course, you play in the UK.
The interviewer who called The Office the British version. But Ricky quickly set the record straight.
He went, yeah, sure, okay, yeah.
Jack, of course, you play in the UK version of The Office, play the boss. What is the weirdest excuse that you've ever heard?
You say the UK version.
Yeah.
I call it the original.
Yes, well done. You're well done. Well done. It's true. Wow, that's
Despite this, Ricky still gave credit to the American version of The Office.
Most people think Steve Carell came up with it.
That's true, but you all were the original.
Yeah, and Steve Carell did an amazing job, and I think the American version is fantastic. Yeah, no, there's 7 remakes around the world, but the American was the biggest.
But you got it started.
Yeah, a long time ago, and now I've brought him back, David Brent, which is the English Michael Scott. Yeah.
Of course, Ricky had his moments of fun where the insults were from both parts and both parts were enjoying it. The interviewer seizes the opportunity to tease Ricky about Netflix.
Hold on. Like, I think they're going overboard. The people who made this video, they tried to dunk on this lady, and I don't know. I've never seen this show. I don't know if they're trying to say she's woke. This is nothing like the clip we saw from The View. This woman is mad respectful. She got it wrong in real time. She took accountability, like, I just got spanked. Please explain. He explains it. She shows love. She shows humility by even going like this. They're tripping with this. I mean, he did destroy her to a degree. But, yeah. This is just like, this is not. I just think that's interesting, the angle of this video. Like, she's cool. Like, that's a respectable way. She made a mistake. She was she didn't know. she was using that as a comparison point. She got checked, and she didn't try to fight it like the ladies on The View did in that clip we saw earlier. That's crazy. That was a good one.
Yeah. Of course, Ricky had his moments of fun where the insults were from both parts and both parts were enjoying it. The interviewer seizes the opportunity to tease Ricky about Netflix, to which Ricky fires back with a mock-serious quip.
It's a really big car.
Really big car. With all this Netflix money, of course.
Exactly. Oh, Netflix. Oh.
Does that, if I'm an $8.99 subscriber, does that mean you work for me now?
Sort of.
Am I your boss?
You're a license player, aren't you? So you can tell me what you didn't like about stuff, and I can have it edited out just for you.
Really? Thank you.
That's the service Netflix provides.
The playful energy continues as they exchange mock insults, with Ricky pretending to be a father figure and the interviewer embracing the joke. This mutual teasing escalates when Ricky delivers an absurdly descriptive line about the interviewer.
You ask, it's a horrible. It feels worse than it looks. Imagine that. Just think of that. So look at that, right? And then imagine it feels and smells worse than it looks.
And I'm married.
And imagine what it tastes like. Christ.
Yeah, thanks. I'll show my missus that one, Ricky. Yeah, thanks, mate.
Another wild moment unfolds.
Bro, that dude got cooked. That dude got cooked. Now, I don't know if that dude was being rude. I think he was just talking and being playful. Like, I didn't get, like, he was being rude. You know what I'm saying? I just thought he was having a good time, and he was mad nervous or sweaty in the environment because that dude, Ricky, was wearing a jacket, right? Ricky's wearing a jacket and not as hot as that dude. So that dude was perspiring for sure. Maybe he wasn't privy to the AC area. But that, I don't think he was being rude. I didn't hear, y'all let me know in the comments. I didn't hear anything that was rude from him. He just having a good convo with Ricky and trying to have fun because he knows Ricky will give him that pushback. That's what I took from it.
It tastes like. Christ.
Yeah, thanks. I'll show my missus that one, Ricky. Yeah, thanks, mate.
He's cooked.
Another wild moment unfolded when Conan O'Brien's playful banter with Ricky Gervais spiraled into unexpected hilarity.
Yeah.
Nice new studio.
This is new. This is a new experience, yes.
Yeah, it's great.
Giant moon, big fake moon behind you.
Actually, the studio was easier to find than the channel on the TV. I persevered.
Yeah, it takes a while.
I didn't know there were that many channels, to be honest.
I didn't until we came to this channel. I didn't realize, and I'll be honest with you, I sometimes forget where we are in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
What are we on here?
I have no idea. I always get stuck on the costume jewelry, and then I just...
you go through that, you keep going, you go to costume jewelry, eyebrow plucking channel, and
And then eventually you find...
Osama bin Laden's got a chat show just before yours.
It's very good.
And of course, Alan Carr couldn't keep a straight face too when he tried to joke about being special for getting invited to Ricky's house, but he brutally took him down.
Around my house, I'm a very sort of private person, apart from workman and postman.
Make me feel special.
Yeah.
I've got that Alan Carr, a postman round here. Refuse collector.
Yeah, well, at least they're useful. No, wait. There's a point to this.
The playful insult lands perfectly, with Alan laughing and firing back a cheeky, "Oi, it's all in good fun," and Ricky continues with a story about Alan's visit to his home.
So he comes in, and there's loads of awards everywhere, and there's sort of sculptures and works of art and antiques, one of which is a huge ceramic chicken that I bought back from, from New York. He comes in, he goes, "Oh, I love your big..."
Yo, this is trippy. I felt like that part of it was a little clickbaity because I don't really feel like for that whole end segment the interviewers weren't rude. They were like his homies going back and forth with him, knowing his personality, like, yo, let's get it kind of thing. Like Conan in that last one. The other thing was the music. The music. Like that. It was like conspiracy theorist music. And I'm like, bro, this is funny. Like, some of this shit is funny. And I was like, the music was taking from the funniness, the comedic pressure that Ricky was applying, especially in the end. I was like, oh, he got cooked. But it's just like, ding, 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 like some freaking suspense thrillers going on. I don't know, man. Y'all let me know in the comments. That was cool though. Shout out to hold on, what channel is this on? Woke Watch. Hello. It's a good video. The dialogue and the vocals aren't bad or anything. Like, I forgot what. I think, hi, this is Jack from Alpha Central. Like, I don't know. I can't. Some of this shit, I'm like, bruh. Anyways, holla at your boy.
City boy, city boy.